The Department of Justice releases its report on what went wrong at Robb Elementary in Uvalde.
A 600-page report detailing failures during the mass shooting.
One adult victim was placed on a walkway, on the ground, outside to be attended to. She died there.
And the days after.
The report validating concerns from the victims' families.
Because the DOJ stamp is on there, maybe y'all will start taking us seriously now.
Who now hope law enforcement is held accountable.
What else does she possibly need to prosecute or to remove these people from their positions of power?
First on KENS 5 News at 10, a cascading failure on all sides. Tonight, the DOJ report highlights what many knew all along. The victims at Robb Elementary were felled by law enforcement.
We have team coverage tonight. Alicia Nieves with the families pushing for accountability. And Hannah Tita looks into the chances any officers will face charges.
But tonight, we start with three major revelations we're learning. First, the report states the officers' actions jeopardized the medical response. And after the shooting, the investigation was compromised with unnecessary officers going in and out of the crime scene.
Finally, the report claims the kids and teachers followed their mass shooting training, but the more than 370 officers who responded did not.
What I hope is clear among the hundreds of pages and thousands of details in this report: their loved ones deserve better.
Attorney General Merrick Garland saying lives could have been saved had there been an appropriate response to the shooting. Once again, heavy blame was placed on the former Uvalde CISD police chief, Pete Arredondo, who was named the incident commander. But the report says no one questioned his lack of urgency. Within 3 minutes of the shooting, 11 officers were on scene, including supervisors, but no one assumed command.
Injured and scared students and teachers remain trapped with the subject in the classrooms, waiting to be rescued.
Once officers breached the door, the report states another round of chaos.
There was no plan to triage the 35 victims.
The report says unnecessary officers continue to enter the classroom instead of EMS. One responder reportedly said, quote, law enforcement was moving injured kids in ways that were probably more harmful. In one case, injured survivors were put on a school bus with no medic. They were instead taken to the city's civic center. In another case, the report says one EMS crew carried a patient out of a classroom only to find their ambulance was missing after another agency took it.
In the commotion, one adult victim was placed on a walkway, on the ground, outside to be attended to. She died there.
On the investigative side, some officers reportedly entered classrooms even though they had no investigative duties. It wasn't until days later that investigators found a device that allowed the shooter to fire his gun faster. It was in the trash can after an officer had moved it from the floor.
Tears filled the room as DOJ officials summarized the report. The Attorney General dedicating the review to the 21 victims who lost their lives.
Let's go live to KENS 5 reporter Alicia Nieves with the frustration from families tonight. Alicia?
So this report was a critical incident review, not an investigation. So while families are relieved that much of the report proved them right, they're still fighting for accountability. They describe Uvalde as a community divided.
Because of this, because they don't want to believe that the people that they grew up with failed our children and they stand against us. I'm hoping that they read this and they see Johnny Field's name or Mariano Pargas's, who is a county commissioner right now.
But after a detailed analysis identified the egregious errors made by law enforcement at Robb Elementary.
It's a lot of pages. It's a lot to read.
These families are hopeful this report will serve as a turning point.
Terminations, criminal prosecutions. And our state and federal government enact sensible gun laws, because Robb Elementary began the day an 18-year-old wasn't allowed to purchase an AR-15.
What families would have liked to see is more information about the role of DPS at Robb Elementary. They also hoped the report would address delays in the Uvalde County DA's investigation.
What else does she possibly need
to prosecute or to remove these people from their positions of power.
Loved ones acknowledge real change nationwide will take much more than changes in policy and procedures.
There's additional training now, requirements, but there's something called courage, and if you don't have that, you can go through all the schooling, all the training, but if you do not have the courage, you're gonna get the same result that you got in Uvalde.
Meantime, 17 Uvalde families have secured legal representation. They came to the conclusion that the best recourse in a situation like this, as the criminal investigation remains at a standstill, will be through civil litigation. We'll, of course, keep you posted on that. Live in Uvalde tonight, Alicia Nieves, KENS 5.
Thank you, Alicia. With cries for criminal charges, we wanted to know, can the responding officers be held liable for their inaction?
Our coverage continues with KENS 5 reporter Hannah Tita, who spoke with experts in both state and federal law. So, Hannah, are charges likely?
Well, Henry Nieces, this might surprise many, but according to Supreme Court rulings, law enforcement is not legally required to protect people. So can anything be done to hold them personally accountable? Experts tell us there are some charges that can be filed, but it's an uphill climb.
Just because it could have been avoided, you still have to work within the parameters of the law.
The Uvalde District Attorney has not yet said whether she will charge any of the nearly 400 law enforcement officers who responded to the Robb Elementary massacre. Former Bexar County DA Nico LaHood says charges would need to fit under a specific statute.
A potential charge of endangering a child is something that could be on the table. I think more accurate could be injury to a child, because omission could be done in a reckless manner.
That's because officers are not legally required to protect people, according to Russell Lorfing. He's a former federal prosecutor and a St. Mary's graduate.
The case law is clear. There is no legal obligation to act in a manner to protect and serve, although I think there's an expectation that comes with that position.
Lori Levinson is a professor of criminal law and a former federal prosecutor. She says federal authorities could still bring charges against the officers for violating civil rights, while negligent homicide is a possibility under Texas law.
But if you take one officer or just a few and try to criminally charge them, they're going to claim they're being scapegoated.
And she says prosecutors would have to prove some of the victims died because of the lengthy response. All three experts believe it will be hard to make a criminal case, but a civil lawsuit could be successful.
How do we say that they're morally culpable of a crime? On the other hand, should somebody have to pay for what happened here? That's a very different question.
And families of survivors did file a $27 billion class action lawsuit back in 2022. That civil suit targets law enforcement and the school district. It even names specific officers like DPS head Steve McCraw and former Uvalde Police Chief Pete Arredondo, but leaves room for hundreds more. Isis?
Thank you, Hannah. Tonight, the city of Uvalde is responding to the report through a statement. It says in part that an independent investigator was hired to conduct a review of the city's law enforcement response. They expect that investigation to be finished this month.
Now to analysis. Tonight, reaction from a former officer who also played a key role in the growth of ALERT. It stands for Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training. Terry Nichols spent decades wearing the badge. I asked him about the mistakes made at Robb Elementary.
They stopped and lost momentum, and it cascaded from there. If you want to put it in one nutshell, it says command. The lack of command and control of that scene led to all the cascading failures from that point forward.
Now, in the DOJ report, it also gave more than 200 recommendations on responding to these situations. Nichols says it is more than just checking a box.
But then as professionals, we need to be on top of our game, expect that call to come in every day, and don't live in an environment where we're thinking it will not happen here, because it will.
Tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott isn't taking questions about the DOJ report. The report specifically named Abbott, criticizing him for sharing inaccurate information the day after the shooting and praising law enforcement's, quote, quick response. Today, he held a press event to celebrate the Texas Rangers winning the World Series. Reporters who asked Abbott for his reaction were denied entry. Instead, he issued a statement thanking the DOJ and saying the state has already implemented some of the recommended changes.
The more than 600-page report, it is a lot to dig into. Right now, online at KENS5.com, you can find complete coverage on the report. We also included key observations we've learned today.
In other news tonight, an 18-year-old is behind bars after police say he shot and killed a man, then left his body on the side of the road. Joseph Melgar Hernandez is accused of killing 29-year-old Damian Jamal Franklin. His body was found laying face down on the access road of Highway 151 on December 20th. Police say 911 was alerted after Franklin's phone fell to the ground. It activated the phone's crash detecting function. Melgar Hernandez is facing a murder charge. A motive has not been revealed in the shooting.
Tonight, a man faces 35 years in prison after he pled guilty to the murder of a 10-year-old girl. 37-year-old Paul Bateman was charged with the murder. It happened on August the 6th, 2018. The district attorney's office reports the child's parents left her in Bateman's care. Bateman told investigators he had blacked out and had no idea what happened. Bateman will also serve a 5-year sentence concurrently for assault of a public servant.
Tonight, another man is pleading guilty to his role in the tragedy that killed 53 migrants on Quintana Road in 2022. Court documents show Riley Covarrubias Ponce, a Mexican citizen, was part of the human smuggling attempt. The migrants were packed in a tractor trailer in the scorching heat on a 3-hour ride from Laredo to San Antonio. It's alleged that Covarrubias Ponce traveled from Houston to accompany the trailer back. Covarrubias Ponce faces a maximum penalty of life in prison. A new TikTok trend has police in one Texas city sounding the alarm. The dare that's startling residents in their homes in the middle of the night. Bill?
He sees a lot of weather changes rolling in our direction. It is quite the 7-day forecast, and these changes begin tomorrow. Next.
Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Call today. Thomas J. Henry is available 24/7, nights and weekends.
When the weather turns, count on KENS 5 to bring you live team coverage of the roads,
San Antonio Fire Department and police responding to multiple accidents,
the conditions,
CPS crews have been actively working around the clock,
and the forecast.
Because this is just brutal temperature-wise.
From San Antonio's largest, most experienced team of forecasters, on air and online. KENS 5 News. Watching out for you, keeping you safe.
The results are in, and North Park Mazda is once again San Antonio's #1 Mazda dealer for 2023. Take $500 off MSRP on every CX-5. Get one posted for $34,775 or lease for $399 per month. Or take $500 off MSRP on every CX-50. Get yours posted for $34,985. Or get 0% 60-month financing on select 2024 CX-5s and CX-50s at North Park Mazda, a proud 5-time J.D. Power dealer of excellence.
Have heart failure with unresolved symptoms? It may be time to see the bigger picture. Heart failure and seemingly unrelated symptoms like carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, and irregular heartbeat could be something more serious, called ATTR-CM, a rare, underdiagnosed disease that worsens over time. Sound like you? Call your cardiologist and ask about ATTR-CM.
Thank you, San Antonio and South Texas, for making North Park Lincoln America's #1 Lincoln retailer. Save over $5,100 on 2023 Lincoln Corsairs while they're posted for $35,989 at North Park Lincoln at Dominion.
Let's get to other top stories we are following tonight. Texas has started arresting migrants at a park in Eagle Pass. Meanwhile, the feds are still fighting for access to that park.
It marks the first arrest since the state took control of the area. The migrants were charged with criminal trespassing. According to DPS, migrant families and children are being handed over to U.S. Border Patrol. The White House has asked the Supreme Court to intervene to allow Border Patrol agents into the park.
New tonight, officials at JBSA Lackland are warning about a dangerous dog on the loose that has so far bitten 2 people. Officials say a woman and a JBSA firefighter were both taken in for medical treatment. Officials were able to capture 2 of the 3 strays involved in the attack. The third dog is still on the loose and appears to be a blue heeler mix like the one you see here on your screen. They were last seen near the LeMay Estates and the golf course. If you spot the dog, you're asked to call number 210-671-5555.
Across Texas, a new TikTok trend is spiking near Houston, and it's leaving residents on edge. As part of the trend, teens are seen going to random houses and banging and kicking on the doors in the middle of the night. Police are warning teens the trend goes far beyond a prank and is causing emotional distress for residents of all ages. With the recent frigid temperatures, many families are turning to space heaters to keep warm. But situations can turn tragic if you're plugging them into extension cords. Ariane Till explains why.
Space heaters require a high electrical current, and our sources say most extension cords and power strips aren't designed to handle that. So plugging a space heater into one of those may cause the cord or strip to overheat and cause a fire. Instead, our sources say the safest way to use your space heater is to plug it directly into a wall. But make sure it's plugged in all by itself. The Electrical Safety Foundation says plugging multiple devices into the same outlet could result in the outlet overheating and cause a fire. So we can verify it's true. Space heaters plugged into extension cords or power strips can be a fire hazard. There are other safety tips to keep in mind when using a space heater. Make sure you place it on a level, hard, non-flammable surface, such as a tile floor. If your home is carpeted, invest in a hard surface to place the space heater on. Keep the unit at least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, like fabric or paper. And if you can, don't leave it running overnight. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
Well, after a nearly 5-decade run, organizers of the Cowboy Breakfast have served up their last meal. Since 1976, the Cowboy Breakfast Foundation has put on the event. Organizers say it has raised over $250,000 in scholarships for St. Philip's College, but they say the cost of providing free breakfast has skyrocketed and it was unable to continue. So now the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo will be taken over, and they will host the official rodeo season Cowboy Breakfast. It is happening on January the 26th.
And we have historically had very cold weather for this event.
Yes.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll see what it brings next week.
You know, nothing warms you up like a free taco and a hot cup of coffee. And Henry, you said you'd never been to a Cowboy
You know, I was
breakfast.
about to bring that up because Bill and I were getting ready in the dressing room, putting on the final touches of the makeup. And I was telling Bill, a little bit, missed a spot. No, but I was telling him this is an event I haven't been to yet. Yeah, but it's early in the morning.
Well, yeah, when I did Ken's 5 mornings back in the day, we were out there live every year. So, I mean, it was just incredible.
Exactly.
We work late nights.
You're right, we're dreaming.
What's funny is a lot of people were like, they would be out that Thursday night and they would just go to the Cowboy Breakfast and keep the party going.
Oh, wow.
That was a good part of that crowd. Yeah, it was crazy. All right, outside today, we had a spring-like Thursday. I mean, phenomenal. And big changes are arriving by morning. Let's get outside here on the hill and first show you that winds look pretty calm out there. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a big difference once you get up for Friday morning. Look at the flags. I mean, barely moving out there right now. But I'll promise you, they're going to be straight out by, say, 5 a.m. 49 right now. Okay, here's a cool coincidence. This is my forecast high for tomorrow. Winds right now are calm, 2.34. But yes, from today's 70s to only the upper 40s tomorrow. 72 today, well above average. And when you look at that 72, keep in mind, Monday's high was 29. Tuesday was 37. And today's 72. And we were one of the lower ones. 73 Seguin, 74 New Braunfels. How about the warm air across the hill country? Almost 80 at Kerrville, 77 Rock Springs. Overnight tonight, Rock Springs to 35. Only a light freeze in a few isolated spots. So I wouldn't worry about the plants. But if you have them covered, don't uncover. Because tomorrow night, we're going back down into the 20s for sure on Saturday morning. So everyone's in the mid-30s and above freezing tomorrow, out just ahead of the cold front. And then when the front pushes through, temperatures will continually drop as winds pick up. Look at the winds tomorrow morning. Tropical storm speed, 39 at 6:30, 38 New Braunfels. Will peak around 41 at about 8:30 or 9 a.m., so through mid-morning. But then by the afternoon, you can see gusts, they'll calm to about 20 to 25. And then in the evening hours, it shouldn't be too bad. But it's going to be a much colder day. Plenty of sunshine. You know, we'll get into the 40s by 11, and then we'll stop at about 49 under clear skies. Plenty of sun to enjoy. All right, now the setup. This is an El Nino winter. We're expecting colder than average, more precipitation than average. And so it's really living up to that billing for the southern United States. Southern jets setting up nicely. Let me show you the upper level wind pattern as this area of low pressure deepens right over the Four Corners. Puts us in this southwest flow, right in the crosshairs for several days of rain. It begins Sunday afternoon and evening with a real good coverage. Could see a few thunderstorms, nothing severe, but there will be heavy pockets of rain. You can see some of the breaks we get. And that's what we're praying for, because if it just stays steady like this, we're going to run into some more flooding issues by midweek. Look at the amount of rain we have in the forecast between now and next Thursday. Anywhere from 1.5 inches upwards of 3-inch pockets, especially just east of the city. But that includes Seguin, New Braunfels, and it just goes up from there as you move east. And I think this will go up even more come tomorrow's forecast. So unpacking the 7-day, it's going to be a cold weekend. In fact, a windy, cold Friday, only 49. But then the hard freeze on Saturday morning, light freeze on Sunday morning. Both afternoons holding in the mid-40s. And it looks pretty breezy just about through the next 3 days. Winds will calm down, and notice they're going southwest on Monday. So here comes a warming trend. So with this round of precipitation, no worries on it going frozen. It all stays liquid as showers and thunderstorms stay in the forecast all the way through next week. Lots of rain, Nate Ryan.
It also could get rainy up in Baltimore, BT. The Texans trying to book their first ever berth in the divisional or AFC championship game. Look at the weather out of practice in Baltimore earlier today, BT. This is your guy Odell out here. He is unfazed by the cold. Look at this right here. That looks like Henry Ramos right there. I've seen him pull those moves out. We're going to preview Texans-Ravens. It's a big one coming up in a few minutes.
I know you're busy. You want to watch Ken's 5 News, weather, sports, and specials, but on your schedule. Watch Ken's 5 live or on demand when you want. Get the free Ken's 5 Plus app on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Driven to serve. At Red McCombs Toyota, we're not just going to wish you a happy 2024. We're going to make it happen, because we're going to save you thousands.
We've stocked up over the holidays with over 400 used vehicles to choose from, including a huge certified selection. Pre-owned start at just $29.93 and a payment special of only $69. Plus, we'll buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
Make this a happy new year and save big during the huge New Year celebration this month only at Red McCombs Toyota.
Hello, San Antonio. My name is Natalie Gomez. For 50 years, Gomez Law Firm has built a legacy practicing law and fighting for the people of San Antonio. And throughout that time, Joe Gomez has made it his mission to help his community. Through the many community projects he has given to over the years, Joe Gomez has established a deep connection to the people he loves in ways that have been important for him: education, faith, and helping children thrive. Gomez Law not only fights, Gomez Law cares.
Bluebonnet Ford in New Braunfels is San Antonio and South Texas' #1 Ford truck retailer, and here's why. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months and take $8,500 off 2023 Ford Super Crew XLTs. Or get this 2023 Ford Super Crew STX posted for $499 per month. Google's highest-rated Ford dealer in the San Antonio area is just up I-35 at Bluebonnet Ford in New Braunfels. Come see why.
At Bluebonnet, price is the difference.
Today's pollen count not showing us a big change at all. Mountain cedars are staying moderate. Molds are light. Ken's 5 News at 10 returns in exactly 1 minute.
We could tell you what it's capable of. Or you could find out for yourself. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Thousands of people are switching to Spectrum Internet.
We count on Spectrum Internet and the advanced Wi-Fi to always keep us connected and protected.
It's so reliable and fast.
Ever since we switched to Spectrum Internet, our daughter's curiosity has a new spark.
Now we're saving a ton.
Amazing.
Switch to super fast Spectrum Internet with the most reliable internet speeds for $49.99 a month with no added taxes or fees, plus free advanced Wi-Fi and no data caps. Switch now and get a $100 Visa Rewards card. Call 833-918-4999.
Call now.
We could tell you what it's capable of. Or you could find out for yourself. How we get there matters.
Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Well, back on September 10th, the Houston Texans traveled to Baltimore, where D'Amico Ryans made his head coaching debut in the NFL. Now it's another debut in the same stadium, though this of the playoff variety. The Texans are hot, but the Ravens had the best record in the league with arguably the best player in the league in Lamar Jackson. It's January, too, by the Chesapeake Bay. BT, that's a little chilly? 20s for the Houston Texans coming north. Even colder, that Baltimore defense allowing the fewest points per game in the NFL. All that on paper, why Houston is a 9-point dog. But it's not anything these Texans don't already know.
Everything you get versus this defense is going to be earned. Right? They've done an outstanding job throughout the entire year. Talk about a consistent defense. They've been top all year in a ton of categories, but really great playmakers at the second level. And they do a really good job up front of making you, like I said, earn everything that you get.
And if the Texans are looking for tips on the divisional round, do not ask the neighbors to the north. Cowboys haven't been over that hump since '95. The constant through it all, the man signing the team checks. Jerry Jones has fired 6 coaches since the '95 Super Bowl. His current one won't make that list just yet. Jones announcing yesterday that McCarthy will return as the head coach for next season, just 3 days after a 16-point home embarrassment to the Green Bay Packers to end another season early. That marks 3 straight in which McCarthy has won 12 games in the regular season, yet gone without a trip to the conference title. McCarthy's offense was the best in the league statistically. At home, they were unbeatable with a plus 170 differential. But none of those numbers matter with the playoff losses. Speaking today for the first time since his vote of confidence, McCarthy had to issue one of his own to his fans.
I believe that the direction, the leadership, everything is in place. And I'm not very comfortable talking about myself, but I came here to win a championship. I didn't come here to get another contract or anything other than that. I came to Dallas to win the world championship, and that's why I'm standing here and buy into us.
If everything's already in place, what was in place on Sunday? McCarthy's never won a world championship, but somebody will, fortunately, in the city of Dallas. That's because, per reports by a London tabloid, the 2026 World Cup final will be held at AT&T Stadium. Of course, North America is going to be hosting the 2026 World Games. The eyes of the universe going to come down on Jerry Jones's backyard come in 2026. That'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully the Cowboys can get a playoff win before then.
Ken's 5's Barry Davis. When you feel cheated, trapped in a deal to which you never agreed and can't get answers, give us a call.
I said I'm gonna call Ken's 5 because I can't deal with y'all people anymore.
We'll fight for you and get results. Call Ken's Monday at 6 on Ken's 5.
Take on the adventures of the new year in a new Subaru from North Park. Take over $2,100 off this 2024 Subaru Outback Premium while it's posted in January for only $32,119. Complimentary maintenance included at North Park Subaru.
At Take 5, you stay in your car because we're faster than you think.
Oil change is done.
Gosh, I don't even have time to stretch my legs.
Guess you have to do it at home.
Guess I'll have to do it at home.
Take 5 to stay in your car, 10-minute oil change.
2 months, plus $9,500 in savings on a new F-150 XLT. We're loaded up with deals, like a new Ford Edge SE with 2.9 for 72 months, plus $6,500 in cash savings. Drive a new Ford Escape, now only $26,977. Remember, we'll beat any new Ford deal in Texas, or we'll give you $1,000. See Northside Ford now. We'll beat it.
18-wheeler accidents can cause serious injuries. If you were injured in a trucking accident, we make it as simple as 1, 2, 3. 1, contact Thomas J. Henry. 2, our attorneys will come to you day or night. 3, we will handle everything while you focus on healing. Thomas J. Henry handles serious trucking cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Call today. Thomas J. Henry is available 24/7, nights and weekends.
New Silverados,
That's a good sign. And this is definitely a good sign. Seguin Chevrolet. Stop by today and save $15,000 on a new Chevy Silverado. It's a good sign when you shop at Seguin Chevrolet, living the dream in Seguin.
When Laura vowed to love me, she wasn't thinking about cancer. I'm just grateful my team of experts at Texas Oncology is close by, so I can still start my mornings right here. I'll see you all tonight.
If it's time for a new car, then it's time to see World Car Kia. It's the hottest brand going. 2024 Kia Fortes, Kia Sportages, Sorrentos, and the popular Kia Tellurides are all available with Kia savings. Plus, at World Car Kia, you'll receive everlasting protection with the World Car Lifetime Warranty and Lifetime Roadside Assistance. Now's the time to trade and save on a Kia from World Car Kia. Visit online or stop on by. World Car Kia South, 35 in Palo Alto.
Before heading out the door, plan your day with Paul. Get an accurate, up-to-the-minute forecast weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7 on Ken's 5.
Always count on me. That's exactly right.
We still need your help to keep people warm this winter with our Ken's 5 Cold Days Warm Hearts Coat Drive. Now through January 31st, you can drop off new or gently used coats to any Dutch Boy Cleaners, 5-Star Cleaners, or Santikos Theater. For more information, go to kens5.com/KensCares.
Finally tonight, people will either love it or hate it. Burt's Bees and Hidden Valley
Oh my
Ranch are
gosh.
teaming up for a whole line of lip balms. And the flavors include Hidden Valley Ranch, buffalo sauce, crunchy celery.
People are going to eat lip balm now.
And fresh
That's what's going to
carrot.
happen.
Okay, I will tell you, I am addicted to Burt's Bees. I use it a lot. People say I have an addiction, but I think this is kind of interesting.
I don't know if I
The
would
ranch.
want buffalo sauce
They're going to eat
lip
it.
balm.
People are going to eat
You
it.
start putting that on. I'm sitting in the weather lab. I'm going to sit somewhere else.
Oh, wow. I think I'll smell delicious.
Ew. Have a good night.
See you tomorrow.
Take on the adventures of the new year in a new Subaru.